What is going on, guys? Chemcoop here. Welcome back to the channel and some BSS content. Sorry for the long absence. So when I was recording card stuff, whatever, a month and a half ago, I've been noticing some issues with my capture card. And I wasn't really sure what was up, but I was able to keep recording through the technical difficulties, even though it did make it tough at times. But then one day I went to record, and capture card just wouldn't display no matter what I did. And so I think what ended up happening is that one of the connections for the USB output on the capture card, I think, is screwed up somehow. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I opened up the whole thing, but I couldn't really find anything that was obviously wrong to me. So I may try and work on trying to fix it, but for now, 3DS stuff is kind of done because I just have no way of getting a nice quality connection and getting like quality screen capture onto my computer. So that's a bummer, but I want to keep bringing BSS content, and unfortunately we're kind of in a dead space for like Battlespot tournaments on Smogon, but now we're back, and yeah, so I'm going to be trying to bring some more tournament replays to the channel. The other thing is I'm going to be actually bringing Draft League content. I was getting a little bit bored of some BSS stuff. I wanted to try out something new. So I am bringing some Draft League battles to the channel. I was actually accepted as a coach for the APA Ascension League as coach of the San Antonio Salamence. For those of you guys who don't know, the APA is, I would say, probably the second or third largest Wi-Fi draft league, after maybe like the GBA and the WBE. And they have definitely one of the largest showdown draft league communities. So I'm happy to be a coach for their mid-tier showdown draft leagues. We'll be bringing that content here probably in the next few days of like a draft analysis and then week 1. And then, it should be weekly uploads from there. Anyways, back to the replays at hand. So this is from the Battlespot Ladder Tournament. The Battlespot Ladder Tournament is a 6-week qualifying ladder tournament where 3 people qualify each week after duking it out on the Pokemon Showdown Battlespot Ladder. The person with the highest score earns a first round bye, while the second and third people have to fight it out in the first round. Anyway, so I ended up qualifying in round 4 with the number 1 seed. So I was sitting on a bye and waiting to face the winner of Leroy Davis, aka Billy Butler, and Yumu Poke, and obviously Billy Butler won. Don't know too much about my opponent. He's not really super active in the Showdown Battlespot chat room or in our Discord. I don't think he's even in the Discord, but he's had a number of solid tournament performances, so I know he's a good player, and he likes to bring some interesting stuff, as you can see here. He's got a nice setups team with Superior, probably glare support with double screens, Skarmory, which I should have predicted early. It's probably going to be fast Skarmory with like Rock Tomb, Taunt, Stealth Rock, but I wasn't really thinking about that because I was a lot more concerned about the Superior because it can glare everything on my team, barring the Tapu Koko, and this is a pretty offensive team. Absolutely hates stuff getting paralyzed, so I was trying to think of good ways to deal with the Superior. So he's got Skarmory and Serp for setup support, and then setup sweepers in Volcarona, Cloyster, and what I presume to be Dragon Dance Mega Tyranitar. Not really sure why the Gastrodon is there, other than to soak up electric hits, because there are no really good electric resists on this team. Barring Superior is kind of okay, but it's really not going to want to try and take on a Tapu Koko 1v1, especially if it's like the Calm Mind Electrium Z variant. So I guess that's why the Gastrodon is there. Anyways, for me, looking at this, I realize my Charizard Y is pretty freaking solid, except for the Tyranitar, because I don't have Focus Blast on it. Weather is going to be a bit of an issue. If you get Sand Up, obviously I can't Solar Beam the Tyranitar and get off big damage. So that's a little bit of an issue, but at +1 speed, my Charizard runs through everything barring the Tyranitar. So definitely bringing the Charizard. Also wanted to lead off with the Tapu Koko just because this Superior was a huge problem and I don't want it glaring anything turn 1. And I ended up bringing Kartana as well just for some extra speed and to have a good way to KO that Tyranitar. I realize this leaves me a bit weak to Volcarona, but if he ends up bringing the Volcarona and gets the setup off, well, GG. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this here. So he ends up leading with Skarmory as I lead off with the Coco, as I said, to deal with the Superior. And what I ended up doing here is I just Volt Switch out because I figured, oh, I can Volt Switch out to my Charizard on the Stealth Rocks, get the Charizard in a full Flame Charge, knock the Skarmory out, and then I'm now a +1 Charizard. Why? He has to bring in the Tyranitar to stop me. If he didn't bring the Tyranitar, then I just kill everything. So that's what I go for. I go for the Volt Switch here. I crit, obviously it doesn't matter. I bring in the Charizard, and he reveals to be Rock Tomb. So I should have predicted this from Team Preview, but it's going to be a Max Speed Jolly Skarmory with Rock Tomb, probably Taunt, Stealth Rock, Brave Bird. And yeah, so he's definitely going to be faster than my Charizard at -1. So I figure he's going to go for the Rock Tomb again just to try to knock this thing out. I go out to the Tapu Koko. And again, because he's going to be Max Speed Jolly, just so that way he hits 134, and at -1, stuff like Tapu Koko and Mega Gengar hit 133 at -1. So he's going to be able to be faster than me. He's going to be able to get up Stealth Rocks here, guaranteed. So I figure he's going to go for Rocks, expecting me to Volt Switch or whatever. So I end up hard switching into my Charizard here on the Rocks, which is great. I go for the Flame Charge here in regular form to make sure that I preserve my Sun as long as possible. He goes out to Tyranitar, and so I end up Mega Evolving, and he Mega Evolves. His stand goes back up, and so I end up just clicking Fire Blast here and getting off, you know, like 20%. In hindsight, what I should have done here was probably just Fire Blast in regular form, because even though I get the massive power increase here, because he got the sand back up, he's super tanky. And if he chose to Dragon Dance here, it would have been a bit of an issue. So what I should have done was just Fire Blasted in regular form, so that way if he Dragon Dance and set his sun up, set his sand up, he Mega Evolve, sets his sand up, Dragon Dances, I'm still faster because I'm Max Speed Charizard. Even if he's Max Speed Tyranitar, I'm out faster. And then I can Mega Evolve the next turn, get my sun up, and Solar Beam this thing for massive damage. But he ends up making the smart play and just crunches in case I am like Focus Blast or something. He ends up just trying to knock me out. So I reveal Kartana, and at this point, I fully expect to lose to the Volcarona, because I'm like, well, it should be Tyranitar and then Volk in the back, and he's just going to be able to Quiver Dance up on my Kartana and win this game with Volcarona. So I was already starting to think about game 2. I just go for the Leaf Blade here. He ends up bringing out Superior, though, so I'm like, oh, he brought Skarm, Serp, Setup, plus Megatar. Interesting. So Kartana can definitely still win this game if I can get off a little bit more damage on Superior, because I am Choice Scarf Kartana here. If I can get the Superior weakened, I can go for Sacred Sword and Sacred Sword to sweep my opponent. So I end up going out to Tapu Koko here on the Superior as he goes for the Reflect. So now I'm like, okay, it's time. I'm going to just throw off the Gigavolt Havoc here. If he wants to switch out to Mega T-Tar, I need to get off as much damage as I can. But he just Leaf Storms, everything lives on 1 HP, and everything dies to Sandstorm this turn. So he's got Reflect, Mega Tyranitar versus Kartana. And looking at his team, because he's got the Volcarona, and because we've seen Crunch, I figure he's probably Crunch, Dragon Dance, Stone Edge, Earthquake, or Ice Punch over Earthquake. I don't think he's going to have Fire Punch. So I feel safe to just click Sacred Sword. I don't think I need to go for the Leaf Blade crit to kill him through the Reflect. Go for the Sacred Sword. He Dragon Dances up here. But of course I'm going to be faster because of Choice Scarf, and I knock him out and win the game. So a little bit surprised I won that one, just because I thought Volcarona was going to win because it is just a huge threat with the kind of support that he has for it. But we end up pulling that one out, and now we're going to go ahead and head into game 2. Let me just set this up here. There we go. Yeah, cool. Okay, so game 2, he hadn't been bringing fairy types. He didn't bring a fairy type against me, and I kind of figured we weren't going to see a fairy type this time, so I decided I wanted to try to bring the Clangy Boy, aka Komodo, here and try to get some shenanigans off with that. This is a neat team. It's Mold Breaker, Groundium Z, Excadrill. I think I'm Firium Z, Volcarona, so I think I have 3 Z moves on this team. And then just a really fat core, double Leech Seed core, and Celesteela, plus physically defensive Celesteela, and especially defensive Mega Venusaur, and then physically defensive Cress with Trick Room to try and stop setup sweepers. But yeah, so looking at my opponent's team, I feel like Venusaur's a really solid lead. It kind of answers off the Hippowdon, Superior, Thunderous leads pretty nicely. And then I end up bringing Cress as well to help deal with Dragonite, Lucario, and if it's Charizard X, I can get off a Trick Room against the Charizard X and try and stop it that way. Yeah, I'm especially defensive Mega Venusaur, so I end up opting to lead off with that because I know even if he's Charizard Y, I can take those flamethrowers pretty well because of my specially defensive investment. Yeah, and looking at the team, I figured probably is Charizard Y because of Lucario. And I know he likes to run physical Lucario, so I figured he probably wouldn't want to bring physical Lucario plus another physical Mega in Zard X. So let's get into it. Lead off with Venusaur versus Charizard. I Mega Evolve and just go for the Synthesis to scout what he wants to go for. Goes for the Flamethrower. Spadef Mega Venusaur, absolutely fat. Takes about 50% from these Flamethrowers here. And so what I'm going to do is just Synthesis stall this Charizard out of Sun. Because once I get it out of Sun, he's really not going to be doing any damage to me. And then I can start firing off hits on him and start winning this war. So I Synthesis one more time here. He's got one turn of Sun left. And I figure I'm just going to go on the offensive here. Because I'll easily be able to live his next hit. Even if it's crit, I should live. He goes into the Powder here, which is a smart play because he limits my Synthesis recovery. Here I expect him to go back to the Charizard here. So I Sludge Bomb, but he stays in just to get up rocks, which is okay with me. I end up Giga Draining, get all the way back to full just about. You see the Citrus Berry activate for him, but it's no biggie because he's still in range of my next Giga Drain. I end up going on to Crest on the Yawn as he doubles back to Zard Y because if you look at my team, what do I actually have that switches into Zard Y with Stealth Rocks up? Celesteela dies, Excadrill dies, Volcarona dies, Kamo is going to take a ton from like HP Ice. So yeah, but I end up going on to Crest. Crest is just another bulky monster. As you'll see, it takes like 50% from the Flamethrower here as well. Able to get off the Trick Rooms. Now I have faster recovery. And because of his Sunlight, the Moonlight is, recovering 66% instead of 50. So I'm easily able to stall this Charizard out again. There are very few teams that you can say have two things that can stall out a Zard Y 1v1, but this team has them, which is super nice. Yeah, so I'm going for a Toxic here. I think this was a misplay. I think what I should have done was Moonlighted one more time to keep this Cresselia around, because now my Trick Room expires and he's able to knock me out. I am chipping away at the Zard with Toxic, which is super great, but it wasn't depleting it fast enough. So I end up going into my Kamo here. Kamo is a tanky boy. I know he can take anything from this Charizard, and I can get off my Clangorous Soul Blaze, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble because that Hippowdon is easily in range of a +1 Clanging Scales. This Charizard's going to die to the Z move. He has no switch-ins to the Z move itself. Lucario will die to my Close Combat. Thundurus is going to really take a ton. If he has Thundurus in the back, he's going to lose to Venusaur anyways. Superior is going to lose to Venusaur. And really the only thing that could be a problem is going to be Dragonite, and that's going to be dependent on its set. So he goes for Hidden Power. I do take it. I go for the Clangorous Soul Blaze here. I knock out the Charizard. And now we're going to have to see what his last is, because again, this Hippo is not really going to be able to take this hit. He does go out to the Dragonite here. So if he's Z-Fly, this could be problematic here, because what's going to end up happening is I have to go for the Clanging Scales, which lowers my defense. And so if he Dragonances here, because of his multi-scale, he'll live my hit. And then because of the defense drop, +1 E-Speed is in fact going to be able to knock me out. And then he'll be able to knock out the Venusaur with his Z move. But we end up seeing that he is Choice Band. I live on 1 HP, Expert EVs here. And I get off the Clanging Scales, break this thing's multi-scale, and get it down in range of Venusaur's Sludge Bomb. He goes for the E-Speed here and knocks me out. I'm able to go out to Venusaur now. And I just click Sludge Bomb here. I figured he would probably switch just because if he stays in on this Venusaur to E-Speed for whatever, 30-40% to the Venusaur, he's going to lose then 1v1 with Hippowdon versus Venusaur. So in hindsight, I probably should have clicked Giga Drain to make sure I got up to 100% health. But I ended up Sludge Bombing here, and I Poison, which is bad because that extra chip is going to mean that because of the Sandstorm and the poison damage, I'm not going to be able to get all the way up to full with this Giga Drain. So I would have been at a much higher HP if I just clicked Giga Drain on the Hippo switch in. So yeah, so it comes down to this. I know he has to click Outrage here. I click Sludge Bomb, it knocks him out, and we just have to see if my especially defensive Venusaur can take a Choice Band Dragonite's stab Outrage. I think it probably can because I do have a bit of investment, and Venusaur is one thick Pokemon. But let's see what happens here. Goes to the Choice Band Outrage. I live on 1 HP. I knock him out. So, end up winning this set 2-0 in the best of 3. Really close set, really fun set. And excited to be moving on to the semifinals where I will be playing Zaya, who's the current seasonal champion and actually ended up beating me in a best of 5 set that went to 5 games the last time we played. So be bringing that to you guys this week. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.